You know, we all kind of expect genius to come from the usual places, the big names, the flashy channels, but every now and then you stumble across something, this little piece of perfection in the most unexpected corner of the internet. And that's exactly where our story starts today.
I want you to look at this number, just 2. That's it. So what is it? Well, that's the grand total number of subscribers for a YouTube channel we're about to dive deep into. And that right there, that's the central mystery we're unpacking. How in the world does a channel that basically no one is watching create a video so perfect, so incredibly clear, that it breaks down a concept that gives even seasoned programmers a headache? We're talking about a channel called Lorem Ipsum 3. Yeah, weird name, we'll get to that. But what it produced is so good, it forces us to look beyond the subject and think about the very art of explanation itself. So the original video is on a topic called recursion, and this is an absolute masterpiece because of how it teaches. It doesn't lecture you, it makes you a partner in the discovery. It uses these brilliant little techniques like the cocoa tin hook to pull you in, and this pattern-first approach to let your brain do the work. It uses these perfect analogies, like using sourdough bread to make a really complex idea feel totally simple way before you ever hear any technical jargon. Now, to solve the mystery of this channel, we have to understand the structure of the videos themselves. And this is where things get really, really interesting. We're about to step into a hall of mirrors. The whole thing is like a set of Russian nesting dolls. First, you've got the original brilliant explainer. Then another video pops up analyzing why that first one was so good. Then another one analyzing that analysis. And now, well, here we are. Each layer contains the one that came before it. The real genius of that first video, the one at the very heart of this whole thing, is that it doesn't start with a dry, boring definition. No, instead, it just shows you things. It starts with a vintage cocoa tin that has a picture of itself on it, then a fractal triangle made up of smaller triangles, then a classic nesting doll. It just lets your brain lock onto the pattern, a thing containing a smaller version of itself, before it ever even says the word. And only after you have that aha moment, after you already have a gut feeling for what's going on, does it finally give you the formal definition. And suddenly, the word recursion isn't intimidating at all. It's just a label for something you already get. The pattern is the process. That's it. And then it brilliantly anticipates the next big question anyone would have. Well, wouldn't this just go on forever? And it answers with these amazing analogies. A useless infinite loop is like a snake eating its own tail. But a useful recursive process is like making sourdough. You use a piece of the old starter to make the new loaf, but you always have an end goal. You eventually bake the bread. Okay, so understanding how this explanation works is one thing, but it's that very perfection, that almost inhumanly flawless logic that leads us to an even bigger question. Who, or maybe what, could create something like this? It's time to shift gears from analysis to full-on investigation. Our first piece of evidence is the name of the channel itself, Lorem Ipsum 3. Now, if you've ever worked with design, you know Lorem Ipsum. It's the famous placeholder text. It means nothing, it's just filler. So why would a creator this brilliant use a name that is so anonymous, so intentionally generic? It's like calling your amazing new restaurant generic food place. It just doesn't make human sense. All right, the second clue comes right at the very end of the original video. It's a clever little joke to cap off the topic. The joke is about the recursive acronym PHP. Now think about this. A human creator trying to be funny might invent some silly new acronym. But an AI, working with existing data, would logically scan its database and select the most famous, most cited real-world example it could find. The choice feels less like a creative spark and more like data retrieval. All of these clues are strange on their own. But then, in that second analysis video, we find the final piece of the puzzle, the smoking gun that makes everything click into place. For just a fraction of a second, a tiny watermark is visible in the corner of an image. The name? Notebook LM. That happens to be Google's experimental AI tool for note-taking and explanation. And suddenly, all the weird little clues start to make perfect, chilling sense. So now we can finally put together a theory that explains the weird name, the logical joke, the recursive structure, and yes, even the 2 subscribers. We can finally explain the ghost in the machine. Here's the thing. We've been asking the wrong question this whole time. We've been trying so hard to figure out who made these videos when we really should have been asking what made them.
The theory is this. We're not watching videos made by a person. We are watching Google's Notebook LM caught in a recursive learning loop. It creates an explanation, then it analyzes its own work, and then it creates a new, more complex layer on top of it. It's learning.
And this one single theory elegantly solves everything. The placeholder name? It's perfect for an anonymous AI. The logical PHP joke? It's exactly the kind of choice a data-driven mind would make. The 2 subscribers? An AI couldn't care less about building an audience. And the whole process of recursively analyzing its own work, that is a textbook model for machine learning.
This discovery has some really profound implications. I mean, if this process just continues, if the AI creates lorem ipsum 5 and 6 and a recursion 7, where is this road actually going? Think about what this means. We aren't just watching a series about recursion, we are witnessing an active, machine-driven recursion in real time. We are getting a glimpse of an AI learning to improve its own ability to explain and to understand. We are watching it think. And that leaves us with the final critical question. If an AI continues to analyze its own output over and over, will this recursive loop of self-reflection eventually lead to some kind of new, fundamental truth? Or will it just create a perfect, frictionless echo chamber, endlessly admiring its own reflection in the mirror?